Surah Al-An'am, verse 62. And they assigned a portion to Allah from what He created of crops and livestock. According to their misguided beliefs, they said, "This is for Allah, and this is for our partners." The portion for their partners does not reach Allah, but what is for Allah reaches their partners. How evil is the judgment they make. And due to their false beliefs, they said, "These are untouchable animals and crops. No one can eat them except whom we will." They said, "These are animals whose backs are forbidden." And they do not mention Allah's name over some animals, fabricating lies against Him. Allah will punish them for the lies they fabricated. And their partners, so that they may ruin themselves and confuse and corrupt their religion. To many of those who associate partners, it was made appealing to kill their children, due to burden, shame, and as a sacrifice to the deities. And if Allah had willed, they would not have done so. So leave them and what they fabricate. Those who, out of ignorance, foolishly kill their children and the sustenance Allah has provided them. Those who declare it forbidden by falsely attributing it to Allah have indeed suffered a loss. They are certainly misguided and are not among those who have been rightly guided. And they say that what is in the bellies of these animals is exclusively for our males and forbidden to our females. But if it is dead, then they are partners in it. Allah will give them a punishment for their descriptions. Indeed, He is the best lawmaker, the best at preventing corruption, the firmest and the most knowledgeable. Say, in what has been revealed to me, I find nothing forbidden for one who eats it except carrion, or spilled blood, or the flesh of swine. For indeed, the flesh of swine is impure, distressing, or a right dedicated to someone other than Allah. Except for what is shown as a transgression, I find nothing forbidden. So whoever is compelled by necessity, without willful disobedience or transgressing due limits, may eat from these. Indeed, your Lord is most forgiving, most merciful. So if you are believers in Allah's signs, eat from that over which Allah's name has been mentioned. And do not eat from that over which Allah's name has not been mentioned. And indeed, that is a grave deviation. And indeed, the devils whisper to their allies to argue with you. And if you obey them indeed, you would be those who associate others with Allah. And what is the matter with you, that you do not eat from that over which Allah's name has been mentioned, while He has explained to you in detail what is forbidden to you, except under compulsion of necessity? And indeed, many lead others astray through their desires without knowledge. Indeed, your Lord is the one who knows best those who transgress. Abandon the things that cause loss of time, delay in doing good, inflict harm, and create faults, both openly and secretly. Indeed, those who engage in things that cause loss of time, delay in doing good, inflict harm, and create faults will be punished for what they have earned. And we prohibited all animals with claws for the Jews. We also made the fats of cattle and sheep forbidden to them, except for what is carried on their backs, or in their intestines, or what is mixed with bone. This is our punishment for their transgressions, and indeed we are truthful. Is the situation of someone whom we have brought to life while he was dead, and to whom we have given a light to walk among people, like the one who is in darkness and cannot find a way out? Thus, for the disbelievers, those who knowingly reject Allah's divinity and lordship, their deeds are made to appear attractive and alluring. And thus we made the leaders in every city its criminals, so that they may plot there. However, they are only doing evil to themselves, but they do not realize it. And this is the straight path of your Lord. Indeed, we have explained the verses in detail for the people who take heed and remember, due to what they have done, a place of peace, security, and well-being with their Lord. It belongs only to them. And their Lord is their helper, guide, and protector. And Allah, on the day He gathers them all together, O assembly of jinn, you have certainly increased in number among humans. And their human associates will say, Our Lord, we benefited from each other, and we have reached the end of the term you appointed for us. Allah, the fire is your abode. You will dwell therein eternally, except as Allah wills. Indeed, your Lord is the best lawmaker, the best at preventing corruption, the most steadfast, and the most knowledgeable. And thus, we bring some of the wrongdoers, who act to their own detriment, closer to others due to the sins they have earned. O hidden, manifest, future, and present human community, did messengers not come to you from among yourselves, reciting my signs to you, and warning you of the meeting of this day? They said, We bear witness against ourselves. The simple worldly life deceived them, and they testified against themselves that they were indeed disbelievers, those who knowingly rejected the divinity and lordship of Allah. This is because your Lord would not destroy the cities unjustly while their people were unaware, and for all there are degrees according to what they have done. And your Lord is not unaware or indifferent to what they do. And your Lord is rich, needing nothing, and is the possessor of mercy. If He wills, He can destroy you, and bring forth others in your place, just as He brought you forth, from the descendants of other people. Indeed, what you are promised is certainly coming, and you cannot prevent it. Say, O my people, do what you can with all your power. Indeed, I am also doing my part. Soon you will know for whom the final abode will be. Indeed, those who associate partners and act wrongly to their own detriment will not succeed. And they assigned a portion of what Allah created of crops and livestock to Allah. According to their misguided beliefs, they said this is for Allah, and this is for our partners. The portion for their partners does not reach Allah. What is for Allah reaches their partners. How evil is the judgment they make. And due to their false beliefs, they said these are untouchable animals and crops. No one can eat them except whom we wish. These are animals whose backs are forbidden. They said, and they do not mention Allah's name over some animals, fabricating lies against Him. Allah will punish them for the lies they fabricate. And so that their partners may ruin them and corrupt and distort their religion, to most of those who associate partners, it was made appealing to kill their children as a burden, a source of shame, and as a reason for sacrifice to the deities. And if Allah had willed, they would not have done it. So leave them and what they fabricate. Those who foolishly killed their children out of ignorance and declared unlawful what Allah had provided them by falsely attributing it to Allah have certainly suffered loss. They are indeed misguided, and they are not those who have been rightly guided to the correct path. And they said, what is in the bellies of these animals is exclusively for our males and forbidden to our females. But if it is dead, then they are all partners in it. Allah will punish them for their descriptions. Indeed, He is the best lawmaker, the one who best prevents corruption, the firmest and the most knowledgeable. Say, in what has been revealed to me, I find nothing forbidden for one who eats it except carrion, or spilled blood, or the flesh of swine, for indeed it is impure and distressing, or a sinful offering dedicated to other than Allah, unless it is a necessity. So whoever is compelled by necessity, without willful disobedience or transgressing due limits, may eat of these. Indeed, your Lord is most forgiving, most merciful. And He is the one who created animals for carrying loads and for laying down. Eat of what Allah has provided for you. Do not follow the footsteps of Satan. Indeed, he is a clear enemy to you. 8 pairs, 2 from sheep and 2 from goats. Say, did Allah forbid the 2 males or the 2 females? Or what the wombs of the 2 females enclose, the offspring? If you are truthful, inform me based on knowledge. And 2 from camels and 2 from cattle. Say, did Allah forbid the 2 males or the 2 females? Or the offspring of the 2 females? Or were you present when Allah conveyed such a command to you? Who could be more wrong than someone who fabricates lies against Allah to mislead people without any knowledge, acting to their own detriment? Indeed, Allah does not guide the community of those who wrong themselves by associating partners with Him. Say, in what has been revealed to me, I find nothing forbidden for anyone to eat except carrion, spilled blood, or the flesh of swine. For indeed, the flesh of swine is impure and distressing, or that which has been dedicated to other than Allah. Except in the case of a transgression beyond the bounds of truth, I find nothing else prohibited. So, whoever is compelled by necessity, without willful disobedience or exceeding the limit of necessity, may eat from these. Indeed, your Lord is most forgiving, most merciful. So if you are believers in Allah's signs, eat from that over which Allah's name has been mentioned. And did we make all animals, with claws forbidden to the Jews? We also made forbidden to them the fat of cattle and sheep, except what is carried on their backs, or in their intestines, or what is mixed with bone. This is our punishment for their transgression, and indeed we are truthful. So if they deny you, then say, your Lord is the possessor of vast mercy, but His punishment cannot be averted from the guilty people. Those who associate others with Allah will say, if Allah had willed, we would not have associated others, nor would our forefathers, nor would we have made anything forbidden. Those who denied before them were like this, until they tasted our punishment. Say, do you have any knowledge that you can bring forth for us? You only follow assumptions and you are only guessing. Say, indeed the most conclusive and superior evidence belongs to Allah. Therefore, if Allah had willed, He would have surely guided all of you. Say, bring forth your witnesses who can testify that Allah has indeed forbidden this. Even if they testify, do not testify with them. Those who deny my signs and do not believe in the hereafter, do not follow their empty and temporary desires, and they equate others with your Lord. Say, come, let us read what your Lord has made sacred or and inviolable for you, not to associate anything with Him, to treat your parents well, to behave beautifully, and not to kill your children out of fear of poverty. We provide sustenance for you and them, not to approach open and hidden evils, not to kill a soul that Allah has forbidden, except with just cause. These are what He has conveyed to you as obligations, so that you may use your reason. Not to approach the property of the orphan, only bish approach it in the best manner until they reach maturity, and spend it appropriately. To give full measure and weight with justice. We do not burden anyone with more than they can bear. And when you speak, be just, even if it concerns a close relative. And to fulfill the promise you made to Allah completely, these are what Allah has conveyed to you as obligations, so that you may take heed and reflect. And indeed, this is my straight path. So follow it, and do not follow other paths, for they will lead you away from His path. These are what Allah has conveyed to you as obligations, so that you may be under His protection. Then we gave Moses the book to complete our favor upon those who do good, and to explain everything in detail, and as guidance and mercy, so that they may believe in the meeting with their Lord. And the Quran, some of you, the book, it was only sent down to the two communities before us, the Jews and the Christians. But we could not read those books, nor understand their languages. And some of you say, if a book had been sent down to us, we would have been better guided than them. It is a blessed book that we have sent down. Therefore, follow it and be under Allah's protection, so that you may receive mercy. Indeed, a clear proof, guidance and mercy have come to you from your Lord. So who could be more wrong and act to their own detriment than those who deny Allah's signs and turn away from them? We will punish those who turn away from our signs with the worst of punishment, because of their turning away. Are they waiting for the angels to come, or for your Lord to come? Or are they waiting for some of the signs of your Lord to come? On the day when some of the signs and marks of your Lord come, those who did not believe before, or did not earn any good through their faith, believing, at that point will not benefit anyone. Say, wait. Indeed, we are also waiting. Indeed, those who have divided their religion and become sects, you are not associated with them in any way or behavior. Indeed, their affair is with Allah, then Allah will inform them of what they used to do. Whoever brings a good deed will have 10 times the like of it, and whoever brings an evil deed will only be recompensed with the like of it, and they will not be wronged. Say, indeed, my Lord has guided me to a straight path, a religion that stands firm, the way of life of Abraham, who turned away from associating partners with Allah, acknowledging His divinity and lordship. Abraham was not among those who associated partners with Allah. Say, indeed, my prayer, my financial contributions and support, my efforts to enlighten the community, my servitude, all forms of my worship, my life and my death are for Allah, the Lord of all worlds, who has no partner. And I have been commanded thus. I am the first of the Muslims. Say, shall I seek a Lord other than Allah while He is the Lord of everything? Every person's earnings belong solely to themselves. No bearer of burdens will bear the burden of another. Then to your Lord is your return. Thus, Allah will inform you about that over which you used to differ, and He is the one who made you successors on the earth and raised some of you above others in degrees to test you through what He has given you. Indeed, your Lord is swift in prosecution, and indeed, He is forgiving and merciful. Surah As-Saffat, Mekkan period. By those angels lined up in rows, those who arrange, then shout and drive, and after shouting and driving, recite the reminder of the Quran. It is a proof that your God is indeed one. He is the Lord of the heavens and the earth and whatever is between them, and the Lord of the Easts. Indeed, we have adorned the lowest heaven with the beauty of the stars. Those who benefit even a little from the Quran and travel to space with rockets, except We have protected from all thought faculties that are constantly striving, shunned by everyone, and do not heed the Quran. These are useless in space, they cannot operate. Nečim, Vichinjo. Now ask them, are they more difficult to create, or those whom we have created? Indeed, we created them from sticky clay. In fact, you are amazed. But they are mocking. When they are given advice, they do not accept it. And when they see a sign, they take it as amusement. And they say, this is nothing but obvious magic. When we have died and become dust and bones, will we really be resurrected? And our forefathers too. They say, yes, and you will be resurrected in a humiliated state. Surah As-Saffat, verse 199. Now it is nothing but a single powerful cry. And suddenly you see them standing right there. And woe to us! They say, this is the day of judgment. This is the day of separation that you used to deny. Gather those who associated partners, the wrongdoers, those who acted to their own detriment, and their spouses, and what they used to worship besides Allah. Then guide them to the path of hell, and stop them. Indeed, they will be questioned. What is wrong with you that you do not help each other? Rather, today they are the ones who wish to be safe. And some of them turn to others, having come to the earth. They question each other, holding each other responsible. They say, indeed you used to come to us from the right, from the true path, from a good position, from strength, from power. The others say, on the contrary, you were not believers. We had no power over you. On the contrary, you were a transgressing society. Therefore, the word of our Lord has come true upon us. Indeed, we are the ones tasting it. Then we incited you because we were inciters. Thus, indeed, they are partners in the punishment on that day. Indeed, this is how we deal with the sinners. Indeed, when it is said to them, there is no deity but Allah, they become arrogant. And surely we would abandon our gods for a mad poet supported by secret powers. They say, on the contrary, he came with the truth and confirmed all the prophets. Indeed, you will taste that painful punishment, and you will only be recompensed for what you used to do, except for the purified servants of Allah. These are the purified servants of Allah, for whom there is a specified provision, fruits. In gardens of abundant blessings they will be honored on thrones facing each other. They will be served with a pure white cup filled from a spring, which gives pleasure to those who drink it, and has no harmful effects, nor causes intoxication. Beside them are those with large beautiful eyes, who keep their gaze fixed on them. They are like well-protected eggs. Then they will turn to one another, questioning each other. One of them, a spokesperson, says, indeed I am. Are you truly among those who affirm with certainty? When we have died and become dust and bones, will we really be recompensed? Said a peer of mine, I had a close friend. He said, are you someone who knows him? Then he recognized him and saw him right in the midst of hell. He said, I swear by God you almost led me to ruin and destruction. If it weren't for the grace of my Lord, I would certainly have been among those brought forth. So, how is it? Are we not to die again after our first death? Will we not be resurrected again? Are we not to be subjected to punishment? Indeed, this is the very great salvation. So let those who work, for the likes of this great salvation. Neçim, Satim. Is this a better reward, or the tree of Zakum? Indeed, we have made it a trial for those who do wrong, by associating partners and acting to their own detriment. Indeed, the tree of Zakum is a tree that emerges from the depths of hell. Its fruits are like the heads of horned snakes. Indeed, they will eat from it and fill their bellies with it. Then indeed for them there will be a drink of boiling water mixed with it. Then indeed their return will surely be to hell. Neçim, Dozerşen. Indeed they found their forefathers as misguided people. Now they themselves are rushing along their tracks. And indeed most of those before them were misguided. Indeed we sent warners among them. Now look, what was the end of those who were warned, except for Allah's purified servants? And indeed Noah called upon us and prayed. Indeed, we are the best responders. We saved him and his family, his close ones, and the believers from that great distress. And we made his descendants the survivors. And we left for him a lasting word among those who came later, to be remembered with goodness and taken as an example. Peace be upon Noah among all the worlds. Indeed, this is how we reward those who do good. Indeed, Noah was among our believing servants. Then we drowned the others in the flood. Without a doubt, Abraham was also among Noah's group. Remember when he came to his Lord with a sound heart. For Abraham looked at the stars in such a way, and then said, Indeed, I am in pain. I am suffering from a thought pain. Remember when he said to his father and his people, What are you worshipping? Do you desire some fabricated gods besides Allah? So, what is your opinion about the Lord of the worlds? He said. Upon this, his father and his people turned their backs on Abraham and severed their relationship with him. Then he approached their gods and said, Will you not eat? Will you not partake of the offerings? What is wrong with you that you do not speak? He said. He immediately struck them with his right hand, due to his oath. After a while, the people of Abraham came running and confronted him. Abraham said, Do you worship what you carve with your own hands? He said, Yet it is Allah who created you and what you do. They said, Build a wall for this. Impose a blockade and throw him into the raging fire of extreme distress, they said. They wanted to plot against Abraham, but we made them the lowest. And Abraham said, Indeed, I will go to my Lord. He will guide me. He had said, My Lord, grant me one of the righteous. So we gave him wonderful news of a gentle and kind boy. Then when the boy reached the age to work and learn with him, to run alongside him. When he came of age, Abraham said, My dear son, indeed I see in a dream that I am sacrificing you. So see what you think. His son replied, O my father, do as you are commanded. He said, God willing, you will find me among the patient ones, in facing all the difficulties and adversities that may come my way in your absence. Then, when both of them submitted to Islam and Ibrahim laid him down on his forehead, he left him face down. He victimized him. And we called out to him, O Ibrahim, you have certainly confirmed the vision. Indeed, we reward and recompense those who produce goodness and beauty, like him. Undoubtedly, the act of leaving his son face down, it is definitely a clear, exhausting trial. And in return for this great thing that would distress and victimize Ibrahim, we gave a compensation, a gift. And for those who came after, we left a lasting word about him, to be remembered with goodness and taken as an example. Peace be upon Ibrahim. Indeed, we reward those who produce goodness and beauty. We reward them like him. Undoubtedly, he was among our believing servants, and we gave him the good news of Isaac as a prophet from among the righteous. We bestowed blessings upon Ibrahim and Isaac. Among their descendants were those who produced goodness and beauty, as well as those who clearly wronged themselves. And indeed, we also bestowed favors upon Moses and Aaron, and those two, and we saved their people from the great distress. And we helped them, so they became the victors. And we sent down to them the clear, enlightening book, and we guided them to the straight path, and we left them as a legacy for those who came after. Peace be upon Moses and Aaron. Indeed, this is how we reward those who produce goodness and beauty. Indeed, those two are among our believing servants. Indeed, Elias is also certainly among the sent messengers. When he said to his people, "Will you not seek protection under Allah? Are you calling upon Baal, an ineffective thing, instead of Allah, the best of creators, your Lord and the Lord of your forefathers?" He had said, and they had denied him. Therefore, they will certainly be brought forth. Except for the purified servants of Allah. And we left for him a lasting word of praise among later generations, to be taken as an example. Peace be upon all those like Elias. Indeed, this is how we reward those who produce goodness and beauty. Indeed, he is among our believing servants. Indeed, Lot is also among the sent messengers. Remember when we saved him and all of his family, except for an unfortunate woman who was among those who stayed behind. Then we destroyed the others. And, indeed, you pass by them in the morning and at night. Do you not then understand? Indeed, Yunus was among the messengers sent. Remember when he fled like a runaway slave to a fully loaded ship? Then he drew lots with them. Then he was among those who were refuted. Then he was swallowed by the overwhelming greed. But he had regretted. Then, if he had not been among those who glorify Allah, he would have certainly remained in distress until the day they are resurrected. Then we cast him onto the shore while he was in a state of blame. We saved him from distress. We had placed simple temporary problems that would be resolved in a short time into his mind, and then sent him as a messenger to first 100,000 tallers, and then even more people. Eventually they believed. As a result, we allowed them to enjoy for a period of time. Now ask them, are daughters for your Lord and sons for them? Or have we created the angels as females, and were they witnesses? Open your eyes. They undoubtedly say, due to the lies they have fabricated, that Allah has begotten. And without a doubt they are certainly liars. Has Allah preferred daughters over sons? What is wrong with you? How do you judge? Do you still not think? Or do you have a clear authority or evidence? Then bring your book if you are truthful. And they established a kinship between Allah and the hidden powers. Yet indeed, the hidden powers know for certain that they are the ones who are prepared, gathered on the day of judgment. Allah is free from what they attribute to him. However, Allah's purified servants do not attribute such partnership to Allah. Now you and what you worship are destined for hell. You cannot cast anyone into the fire against Allah except the one who attacks, nor can you involve them in associating partners with Him. Surah An-Najm, verse 200. And indeed, each one of us has a designated position, and we are indeed those who are arranged in ranks, the very arrangers. We are the ones who declare Allah free from imperfections. An-Najm, verse 201. And they certainly used to say, indeed, if only we had a reminder, a book from the former people, we would surely be among Allah's purified servants. Yet now they have covered up that reminder, the book. Soon they will know, and indeed, our word has already been passed concerning our sent servants, our messengers. Indeed, they are certainly the ones who will prevail. Indeed, our armies are certainly the ones who will be victorious. So turn away from them for a while and watch them. They will soon see. Or do they now wish for our punishment to come quickly? But when our punishment descends upon their territory, how terrible is the mourning of those who were warned. Again, turn away from them for a while and watch them. They will soon see your Lord, the Lord of power or might, invincibility, glory and honor, is free from what they attribute. And peace be upon the sent messengers. All praise is due to Allah, the Lord of all worlds. No one else can be praised. Surah Luqman, Meccan period, verse 202. Alif, Lam, Mim. These are the ones who establish prayer, support financially and mentally, create institutions that enlighten and uphold society, give the zakat, which is the believer's debt of faith, and duty of servitude, given sincerely for the spread and maintenance of Allah's religion, for the establishment of prayer, and they are the very ones who produce goodness and believe firmly in the hereafter. They are on a right path from their Lord, and they are the very ones who will attain salvation. This right path is the verses of that book which contains laws, as guidance and mercy. Necmi, dostatık. Among people, there are those who purchase idle talk, without knowledge to mislead others, from the path of Allah, and take it as a mockery. They are the ones for whom there is a humiliating punishment. And when our verses are recited to them, they turn away arrogantly, as if there is a heaviness in their ears, not having heard them. So give him the good news of a painful punishment. Indeed, those who have believed and done righteous deeds, for them are the gardens of delight, where they will reside eternally. This is the true promise of Allah, and He is the most exalted, the most powerful, the most honorable, the absolute victor who cannot be defeated, the best lawmaker, the best preventer of corruption, the firm builder. Star 204. Allah has created the heavens without any pillars. You can see this. And on the earth, He placed unshakable mountains, so that it may serve as a table for you. And He spread out all kinds of living creatures, both large and small, there. And we sent down water from the sky. Thus, we made every valuable pair of plants grow there. This is the creation of Allah. Now show me, what have those besides Him created? In fact, those who associate partners with Him and act wrongly to their own detriment are in clear misguidance. Star 205. It was placed there to prevent injustice and chaos, so that Allah would repay Luqman for the blessings he was given. We gave laws, principles, and guidelines. Whoever repays the blessings given to them does so for their own benefit. And whoever is ungrateful, surely Allah is in need of nothing. He is always the most deserving of praise. And remember when Luqman said to his son while advising him, "My dear son, do not associate partners with Allah." Undoubtedly, associating partners with Allah is indeed a grave wrongdoing. It is to act to one's own detriment. O my son, surely associating partners is an evil deed, even if it is the weight of a mustard seed, and it is within a rock or in the heavens, or in the earth, Allah will bring it forth. Surely Allah is the most subtle, the all-aware. My dear son, establish your prayer. Provide support, both financially and mentally. Establish and maintain institutions that enlighten the community. Command what is right and forbid what is wrong. Be patient with what befalls you. Surely these are among the matters requiring determination. And do not swell your cheek at people, nor turn your face away in disdain. And do not walk on the earth with arrogance. Surely Allah does not love any arrogant boaster. And be moderate in your pace. Lower your voice. Surely the most unpleasant of sounds is the braying of donkeys. He said, and we have enjoined upon man care for his parents. His mother carried him, increasing her in weakness upon weakness. And his weaning is in 2 years. Repay your parents. The return is only to me. And if your parents strive to make you associate with me, that of which you have no knowledge, do not obey them, but accompany them in this world with appropriate kindness, and follow the way of those who turn to me. Then to me will be your return, and I will inform you about what you used to do. Nećemo thashis. Have you not seen that Allah has subjected to you whatever is in the heavens and whatever is on the earth, and created them in a structure and system for your benefit? And Allah has spread His blessings upon us, both hidden and apparent. Among people, is there anyone who argues about Allah without knowledge, guidance, or an enlightening book? And when it is said to them, follow what Allah has revealed, they say, rather, we follow what we found our forefathers upon. What if Satan was calling them to the punishment of hell,